Streaming live on WHITradio.org from High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. It's the Nomad Show. I'm your announcer, Ahmed, and now your host, Kevin.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm your host, Kevin, and with me today is Ahmed. And today we're just going to talk about the NBA, give you the ins and outs, and, just basically analyze every single team. But we're going to start off with the MVP candidates: LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, and James Harden. Ahmed, what do you think?
All right, the four names you mentioned, all of them are definitely worthy of to be MVP. But let's actually consider why. Wait, first of all, who do you think should be MVP? Like your pick right now, if you just had to say one at the top of your head.
LeBron James, he's a great player. All around.
The thing is with him, don't forget, and people, this is what they say against him. Remember in the first 2 months of basketball for him this year, he wasn't playing. He wasn't LeBron James. He wasn't playing defense. He seemed out of it every single game. He was finding
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, and he seemed aggravated and frustrated with the team. Like, they weren't used to winning. And then him and Kyrie kept going back and forth. Like, this is my team. No, this is my team.
Yeah.
Kyrie just signed the huge contract. I think like 5 years, $90 million.
Wow.
Yeah, he just signed it before the year, and then LeBron comes too. So I think they're. No matter what LeBron does from now until the end of the year, I wouldn't give him MVP just because what he did the first 2 months. So I would eliminate him from the four MVPs you mentioned.
Exactly. For me, for you to be MVP, you have to be consistent throughout the year. That I think is like the main problem with MVP candidates, that they basically base off their voting on the last 2 or 3 months. A little bit before the NBA All-Star week and after the month after. And I feel like that's unfair. You have to look, throughout their whole average,
That's what you need to do.
Through the season, exactly.
You get caught up in this guy's playing so great now, he's amazing, so why not pick him? So that leads me to, let's bring up, Russell Westbrook. Obviously right now, I think he's had 7 triple-doubles or 6 triple-doubles.
6 in the last 7 games.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's playing out of his mind right now. The thing is with him, he's missed too many games. I think he's missed close to 20 games or 15-ish. I'm not exactly sure. But it leads me to question, he's playing like an MVP. He's the all-star MVP. Just look what he did there. It leads me to question, though, when Kevin Durant comes back, will he be able to keep up this level of play? Because if he comes back and his numbers go down, I can't see him getting MVP. And, it's going to be tough because he's already missed so many games.
Same situation with Westbrook. He started off the year injured, right?
Yeah.
He came back a little bit rusty. And as the year progressed, he got better and better. And he has had a burst of energy in the last 2 weeks. And I don't think you could just base off the MVP votes
in 2 weeks of production.
In 2 weeks of production, exactly. Especially the NBA All-Star Week. Even if you get MVP for that, I don't think you should get an MVP in general.
Some people say the month of February he averaged 30, 10, and 8. It's almost a triple-double. They said he made history for the NBA in that span. So people are gonna use that also, he should be MVP because look what he did. Look what he did in the month of February.
Yeah.
That's amazing what he did, but I still wouldn't put him up there. Now the final two people, Curry and Harden. Now people say it could go either way. Curry, obviously the Warriors have a better record. I think they're 49-12. They're top of the Western Conference right now.
That is correct.
Yeah, they're doing really good. And then Harden, he's 43-20. People are like, oh, that's not that good of a record, but he'd probably have a better one. He's in the West. You have to consider that. And something huge why I'd put him as my MVP candidate is because he did a lot of this without Dwight Howard.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you easily have to show more, I guess, in a way, respect towards him for how he carried the team when Dwight was out. Dwight's he's still a good player. He could average 18 and 12 on any given night. He's really, and maybe two blocks to add to that. He's really good. His defensive presence is is insane for the team. Harden has really stepped up his defense. His steals have gone up. I think last year, I forgot what defensive category it was, but it dealt with shooting guard rankings on like defense. I forgot exactly what it was, but he was dead last in that aspect. But now he's, I think, number 20 or something like that. So that's a huge step up from where he was from last year to this year. And Curry, people say he doesn't deserve it because, I mean, he does, but he doesn't. Just because look at the team he's on. He's on the Golden State Warriors. He has Klay Thompson, David Lee, Bogut, Iguodala, Sean Livingston. It goes on and on.
He's a star amidst stars.
Yeah, his team is really that's the huge problem. That's why they say he shouldn't be MVP. But it's a toss-up, honestly, because one game Harden gets a triple-double, then Curry has hits maybe 6 threes one game. It keeps going back and forth. It's really hard to tell. But as of right now, I'd go Harden.
I would go Harden as well. Steph Curry's an amazing player, but he does have the team to back up his star play every single game. James Harden, he brings it out of himself to build up to where the team is right now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think he deserves the MVP candidate, the MVP nomination. Now, how do you think the playoffs are looking right now? Right now, how the teams are set, do you think they're going to stay like that? Do you think Miami's going to take the 8th seed and knock Indiana out? Paul George is going to come soon. What do you think?
Yeah, for Indiana. Right now, the two teams that are losing a lot are the Toronto Raptors and the Washington Wizards. If you look at both of them in their last 10 games, they're 2-8. They're really struggling right now, and I don't know. And Milwaukee's closing in on Washington. They're only a game and a half behind. So I don't know if Washington can keep the 5th seed. You never know. Maybe they'll drop to 6, and Milwaukee will take the 5th. But I know for a fact they're probably going to start dropping a little more because their schedules are getting a little bit tougher. And lately for the both teams, some players like John Wall and Kyle Lowry, they haven't been the same. They have, especially Lowry, he's been playing terrible. The team gave him I think 3 games off just for rest, and he's been playing bad, so they just rested him, and hopefully they said he'd be back and playing the all-star level he was playing at. He comes back. I think his first game was against Westbrook. He played. That was yesterday. He shot 5 of 15 from the field. He looked terrible out there. So I really don't know. Chicago, I think they're gonna be dropping a couple more games. I could see them maybe finishing fourth seed, maybe 5th. It depends how Toronto and Washington are playing. In Cleveland, as long as they have LeBron there, they could easily keep going up and up in the standings.
Yeah, I know Atlanta's been playing as a really good team. Cleveland, after LeBron, found himself, they've, realized what type of team they are. They've gone up the ranks. Chicago, they're a team. They're a team. There's usually you have teams that have their star player. Chicago lost their star player. Yeah. And, I think they're more unified now.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like this is the first time this has happened. This happened the past 2 years. Now it's 3. They lose their star player, the franchise player. So they're used to playing without him. So I think they'll be able to win some games here and there. But
they'll work around this situation.
Yeah.
Toronto. I remember seeing Toronto early on in the season, and I thought they were gonna go top 3. I'm not sure what's going wrong right now. Yeah. Like you said, Kyle Lowry has not been playing an all-star caliber. DeMar DeRozan back from his injury. I'm not sure how well he's been doing for the team.
He hasn't been the same. I remember they both said they were asked about how they were playing, and they said their games, they've been playing like trash. They said that about themselves. And as of right now, I guess they haven't been playing the best. They need to really step it up if they want to make a playoff push to get better seeding. Especially you need home court advantage in the playoffs, so that'll really help out. And I forgot to mention, you said Paul George might come back in a week or really soon. Indiana right now is in the 8th seed, with they're tied for 8th actually with the Miami Heat. Now those two teams, the Pacers and the Heat, are really talented, especially with the Heat have Hassan Whiteside. He's been playing like insane. He's averaging a double double, and like, he's just some guy from the D League. No one knew about him.
Yeah.
Paul George, if he comes back though, I really like. Let's say they're 8th and Atlanta's 1st. Atlanta's gonna have a really tough time because the Pacers' defense hasn't changed. They're still, I think, top 3 in that category. They really, they play physical, and when the game, and they're not a fast break team. They love when the game slows down in their favor. So if they keep Atlanta out of transition, which they're capable of doing, Paul George is back, Hibbert's back. George Hill's been back from the injury. He's been playing great. Same thing with David West. This team is going to be really, really tough to beat. I wouldn't want to be matched up against them in the first round.
Now the question is, will Paul George come back, like he previously left, a star, amazing player, putting up points. I know last year, towards the end of his, closing in on his injury,
yeah,
he wasn't doing, like, the best.
He wasn't. No, and I remember Hibbert last year. He just completely
his numbers
started
just
playing
fell.
terrible, yeah. The whole team collapsed. Like, after All-Star, they went to All-Star break, I think it was like 39-8 or something like that. That was really great. And then they finished the year 51-20 and 22, I think, or 21. I'm not exactly sure on that. But they just been playing, they just fell off, and then they got eliminated in the conference finals? I think against Miami, yeah. But there was like no way they're gonna win that. They just been playing so bad. But this year Paul George had a lot of rest. He's been looking great so far. I've seen like some footage of him actually practicing, and like he looks great. He's still athletic. He's gotten stronger. That's what he's been doing in the offseason. He weighs like, I think, like he said, 235 now. So that's really gonna help him out against like LeBron James if he gets matched up against him. That's really gonna help him out.
Washington, they started off the year, amazing. I think they were first for a few weeks, and I'm not sure what's happening right now. Bradley Beal, you have John Wall,
Gortat,
Nene. As a team, how do you see him right now?
As a team, they need to get the act straight. Honestly, like for the past like week or two, Beal's been out. He had leg injury, which obviously affected them. Like, it affected them way more than anyone ever thought. They've been losing to some bad teams, some good teams. But, like, this really isn't a good thing if they want to make it far in the playoffs. People are, like, on the East, they said the championship contenders when it started were the Bulls, the Cavaliers, and now people are saying the Hawks, obviously. But a huge team, they said the dark horse team is the Wizards. And now people are just writing them off. They're saying they've seen how much they've struggled. So they're like, I don't know if they can win games in the playoffs when it matters most. They've been so inconsistent, so no one really knows about them.
Well, that has been our analysis on the Eastern Conference in the NBA, and we'll bring you the Western Conference next time on the Nomads. We're going to close the show out. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our panel, Ahmed, and behind the glass, we have Max. This has been the Nomads, and thank you for watching WHITradio.org.
Thanks for watching the Nomad Show. Tune in to WHIT Radio's YouTube page for more shows. Have a good day.